This is the Hark Now Here Spurs Fans Podcast, a podcast from proper Spurs to all the proper Spurs around the world. And you listen, it's the Monday after the Sunday before. And I mean, I can't remember the last time we shipped 6 at home, but it was a painful one. From the midweek high, which also could have been a tennis score, to be honest, to losing 6-3 to Liverpool at home. I mean, so we're all here in our festive gear. I think me and Matt have gone to the same fucking shop. We've got this exact same one on, and it looks like Kev missed the memo.
Which one's the fucking tighter fit? I'm not sure.
Mate.
I was just about to say mine looks slim fit, Kev. And yours looks like XL.
I'm mate, this is a medium. I'm hoping you can label that.
Hoping the label that. Please.
But yeah, listen, boys. It was a hard weekend. Like, I mean, at one point it could have been like 7-1. Like, I just never see us kind of scoring goals. But Matty, I'll come to you first, mate. What I mean, you were both there, so I mean, you can both give us your take on like what you thought of it. But Matt,
should we not start off on a high and go with the Man United performance on Thursday, because we need to cover that?
I thought we'd do that second to make everyone happy before Christmas. But all right, Grinch, let's go your way round. All right. So I mean, yeah, Man United then, Matty, talk to me. Was you there?
I went Man United, mate. I thought do you know what? I thought we was well under control. At 3-0 up, I thought the game was done. I think we all did. But Fraser Forster, I don't know what's happened to him in the last couple of games. He come in, but replaced Vicario, and he was playing really well. And then now it's suddenly like his confidence has just been hit, and he's just a different goalkeeper. He let Man United back in the game, and then it went 3-2, exactly similar goal, weren't it, really? And then I thought, oh, no. Do you know what? I turned around, and I turned to someone. I said, Spurs, don't you fucking dare do this. Don't you dare, mate. I was shitting my pants. And then obviously when Sonny scored, and then I thought, all right, cool, it's done. And then Man United scored again straight after. But look, it was a game with our current squad. It was just to get over the line. We've done it. We're in the next round.
I mean, yeah, that's it. At the end of the day, it's one of those, like, the win's the win. That's basically what you need in a cup. But, I mean, what was he doing, Kev Forster, at that point? Like, it's just, is this a question where you have to start going about Ange's tactics? Like, even in that game, we'll get on to Liverpool one, of course, but even at that point, you're like 3-0 up and absolutely cruising to all of a sudden being put back into a game, like, where you're having to fight to get a result. Why does this keep happening to us, Kev?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a bit with Matt. I thought the game was well comfortable. I think at half time I had my fucking feet up on my chair. And like I said, it took one mistake, and I thought that was the only way they was going to get back into the game, by us fucking giving them goals, and we're not giving them 2. But listen, it's just because you got him in goal and he's going for a bit of a wobble with having the ball back to him. I mean, he's not going to change the whole style of play of playing out from the back just because of that. So Fraser Forster is going to have to learn pretty quick that, you know, you can't stand there like you're waiting for a fucking bus when the ball's passed back to you. You can't play a 5-yard pass to a player with a player up his arse. So, you know, it's saying that he's saying he's going to have to sort out pretty quick. And I think like we saw that when he started going long in that game, we gave the ball away. I mean, this is why people don't play out from the back, because it's a cheap way of giving away possession when you're in control of it. And we did that every time we went long. So, but we had to go long because his confidence was in fucking bits at that point. So, I don't know.
Kev, did you find? Sorry, Kev. When we started going long, we started winning the second balls.
Yeah, it took us a while to win them though. I thought they won a lot of them as well. So I mean, I'm not a fan of lumping it long, but I've said it before with Vicario. There's times when you've just got to fucking do it. And who gives a shit if you're going to give the ball away fucking 60 yards down the pitch? I mean, you've got a good chance of not conceding the goal by playing around in your box. And both keepers have been at it. And listen, it's the way that everyone plays now. And it's a way that everyone's going to play, I assume, going forward. So, you know, without him or Vicario, in an ideal situation, for how good they are with their hands, they can be pretty sloppy with their feet. And to find a goalkeeper that can do both, namely goalkeepers like Ederson, Alisson, I mean, they're at top clubs. And unfortunately, we might not just have the quality in our goalkeepers be quick with our feet, but they're going to have to learn it pretty sharpish if they can. But yeah, apart from that, we was fine, I thought. And then obviously the Sonny goal sort of finished it off, a little late scare. But yeah, I felt like I fucking aged about 20 years in that game, you know, because it's such a, like what you're saying, Tej, it's such a roller coaster of emotions, because at half time you're fucking sitting there and you're thinking everything's fucking great. And then the last minute you're biting your fucking nails, and it's like, it's very typical Spurs at the moment with why that's happening. It's very gung-ho football. There's mistakes in the pitch, but there's also clinical finishing from us as well. And I don't know. I mean, we'll get into the Liverpool game, but I think this is how it's going to be until the end of the season now. And unless in January, like I said, you can add a bit of skill and experience in there somewhere, which is really needed, in my opinion.
T, what's your thoughts on the Man United game?
Yeah, so do you know what? It's going to be a bit of an easy one because I'm kind of in the same ilk as you boys. Like, I just feel, I don't know, actually, mate, I'm a little bit different with it. I think at some point you need to have a look at where you are, what position you are in the game, and think about closing it out. It's all right, keep going, attacking. But when you're 3-0 up, you need to consolidate. You need to stop. You need to drop the line back. I can't say it any more times, like, about how high he plays that line against certain opposition. And you need to just start thinking, like, especially when you're playing like your second string set defense. Our entire defense is second string, right? And you're sitting there trying to play out from the back, and you know Forster's not really one who's great with his feet. And I mean, the most insane thing for me about that Man United game was we got caught out once playing out from the back, and then he goes and does it again, and it's like, and it's not his fault, like as in Forster on his own, right? He's got terrible, like he's got players, left backs and right backs, playing it back to him and putting him under pressure, knowing that Man United are going to run onto it. I think the upside is that we were clinical in that game. When we went forward, we looked really good, I thought. But then it comes back to that situation where you're 3-0 up, absolutely cruising. The fans are all in song, loving it, and then you can see 2 quick goals from individual errors again, unforced errors again. And now all of a sudden the atmosphere in the stadium's gone. The away fans are singing, and Man United are on the press. And you're sitting there thinking, "Fuck me, it's gonna happen again." Like, I actually text the group. You boys are both in the group. I text, and I said, "This is only going one way now." I said, "There's no way Spurs are going to win this game." And then obviously Sonny gets the goal, which, by the way, listen, he's had a lot of stick, that goal. I thought, like, when it happened, everyone was like, that's VAR. That was probably a foul on the keeper. I personally think if VAR was available in that game, that would have got ruled out. However, it should never have been ruled out. That goal was like, keepers get far too much leniency, in my opinion. But that was a great whip from Sonny, and I thought we caught the keeper well off. And the little thing with Bergvall was minor. It didn't change the fact that the ball was going in. But yeah, again, then we're open again, and they concede again, and you sit there and think we've got 5 minutes left here, and fucking they could easy score. You never feel comfortable with Spurs at any scoreline at the moment, and that's a problem.
Going back to Sonny's goal, right? Every time we concede a set piece like that, we get told by all other fan bases, Vicario's weak. And then we're kind of like, actually, Vicario is weak at corners. Do you know what I mean? So it took something like that to actually look at it and be like, no, their goalkeeper needs to be stronger there, because we've conceded so many of them goals to make us think like Vicario's weak.
Yeah, I feel like that's gone away for a bit now. I think, hasn't it? Like, I mean, the start of the season, I think it was there. I don't really feel like that happens as much anymore. Do you? I mean, we used to be targeted for it. I don't really see us doing that anymore. I think Dragusin likes to get involved in that little melee when someone's trying to push him around. I think we're sorted on that. Touch wood. I feel like we're right there at the moment.
Talking about Radu, I thought, and we're going to move on to the Liverpool game, because I thought against Man United, he was pretty good, yeah? And then what changed against Liverpool? So we're going to go on to the Liverpool game, and I don't even know where to start. TJ, we're going to start with you, mate. See?
I lost you, mate. Go on. So that's the first time that's ever happened. Go on, mate. Say it again. I missed you. What's the question?
No, so talking about Radu, he was really good against Man United, and then again against Liverpool, he got targeted. So Ryan Gravenberch has come out and publicly said that we targeted Radu Dragusin, and we wanted every time he got the ball, we pressed him because that's where the mistakes were going to come from. You got Archie Gray's an 18-year-old boy, and they put no pressure on him. They targeted the most experienced centre back we kind of got. So, what's your thoughts on the Liverpool game, T?
Where to begin? I mean, you mentioned the defence, and again, my issue with the defence is, I'm probably, this is going to sound mad to some people, but I actually don't think Spurs played terribly against Liverpool. I genuinely don't think we played a bad game. I feel like the execution of the tactics was weak in some aspects. And I feel like on the whole, man for man, Liverpool are a much better team than that Spurs that was put out. And I genuinely believe our first 11 will struggle with that team as well. I think they're probably the best. I hate saying this because I fucking hate Liverpool as well. But I think, honestly, the amount of scousers that text me when they beat us is unbelievable. But I genuinely believe that they're on for big things this season, Liverpool. I think there's no real shame in losing to that team. However, the execution of what we're trying to do was poor. I feel like the press was so behind. If you're going to press like Spurs were going to press, you need to be within like a few meters of the player when you're pressing him. I watched. I mean, Sonny, I thought was probably our worst player. That I genuinely believe he was terrible yesterday. But I watched him try and press a ball after it had been passed. So it left the player's feet, and he's tried to press him at that point. And I'm sitting there going, "What's going on here? You're pressing after the fact. That's not how you press. Like, you need to be on it." And secondly, I felt like we just held on to that high line again for far too long. They just absolutely ripped us over the top every time. We didn't double up on the wingers. Like this is where I feel like our failings are, and they were tactical failures more than anything else. But yeah, I felt like the line was too high, way too high against Liverpool, and I felt like we should have doubled up on their wingers. They just got it out wide, and I felt Spence did all right, but I felt like he needed help. I felt like there was two. If we had two men over, if Sonny's back, them crosses from Trent don't get in the box. Do you know what I mean? And it's just that, like, behind. I just felt like we were one step behind Liverpool in every phase of play, and that's why we lost. The fact we scored 3 goals actually flattered us. I thought. I genuinely believe like that they were good goals and taken well, but I just felt like the scoreline flattered us. That could have easily been an absolute hiding, like 8-1, something like that, and we'd be sitting here like, what the fuck? 6-3 actually makes it look a little bit respectable, and I'm saying 6-3 makes it respectable. We conceded 6 goals at home. The last time that happened was, I think it was Newcastle? No, it was Chelsea in like the 90s. Come on. I mean, like, conceding 6 at home shouldn't be happening, regardless of that. I just felt like, I'll be honest, I felt like the tactics were wrong. And I know Andrew's not going to change his way. I just felt like...
Are you not surprised that we conceded 6 at home, especially with the way we play, but with the players we had on the pitch? I mean, I don't know if I'm that surprised.
6 I am. 6 I am.
With the injuries, with the defence we kind of got on the high line. We
didn't concede 6 against Southampton. Didn't concede 6 against Man United. We conceded 3, but didn't concede 6.
Yeah, but this is Liverpool. Man. This is a lot. I think we were.
Didn't concede any against Man City away.
I'm just saying. I mean, I looked at it as that. I thought we were playing a really, really, really top side.
We were.
And it was men against boys for a lot of that game. I thought just the way they moved the ball, like you said, their runs. I think as the game went on and they scored more, I think we got even more desperate to try and get back in the game and played like right on the fucking halfway line, and you just couldn't do that at that point. But listen, I am going to jump. I'm not using it as an excuse, but I'm going to say even with our best team, we have a struggle there against them. I think they're that good.
100%.
Do you think Liverpool were just absolutely brilliant yesterday in that races? Because every time they went forward, they looked like they were going to score.
Yeah. I thought they were really, really good, but I also thought defensively we weren't fucking great. And that's no. I mean, I can dig Porro out for his performances of late, being so hard up the fucking pitch and never recovering. I can dig Son out for not tracking back. Kulu isn't fantastic at fucking tracking back either. But you're leaving an 18-year-old kid who's just come into the Premier League And I felt fucking sorry for him and Spence, the way them goals were being bopped around because they were training goals at the end of it, and it was so easy for them. And I felt sorry for him. But I mean, naively, I went into the game thinking maybe I was on the bit of a buzz from United because I thought we were great at United, apart from the 2 fuck ups. But I actually fancied us to get something against Liverpool for some reason. But then I was a bit naive because then I've gone into the ground and I thought there was a chance. I thought Mickey van der Ven might have been back. I mean, I had that in my head. Gutted he wasn't. But then I have realised that the amount of players we've got out, and obviously we played on Thursday night as well. So, but after the first 5 minutes, everything come to fruition. I was just like, fuck me. Like, I mean, we couldn't even get out. They were pressing us so well. And they were just first fit. And when they won the ball and turned, they were just fucking dangerous everywhere. And they were clinical. But yeah, I'm a bit like, I think the only sort of compliment I can give it is we were 5-1 down. And I looked around the stadium and everyone was fucking still in there. So it's like we were still giving it a go and people appreciated the fact. And I think it's a bit like the Chelsea game of 9 men. I mean, I left early that one. But people appreciated the fucking go at it. But at the same time, he isn't going to change the way he wants to play. But I'm sitting there at 5-1 thinking, fucking hell, man, you need to wrap this up at the back because this could be 8 or 9. We're 60 minutes in and we've conceded 5. But I knew he weren't going to do it. And he ain't ever going to do it. And I think the reason why he isn't going to do it, because if he does it once, he's going to be expected to do it all the time. And I think he's sticking to his guns. Whether that keeps him a job or not, I don't know. But he is not going to change. And he's getting fucked off with the questions about it as well. And he's just like, listen, I'm saying, Char, I ain't changing the way I play. This is me. Fucking like it or lump it. Whatever happens, happens. But I'm not going to sit back and defend in games. I'm going to try and score. So that's great to do. But when you've got the kind of defence we had, and the sort of shift our 2 midfielders put in, especially Basuma, who I thought was the best player against United, by the way. But I thought he was one of the poorest, him and Sarr, in terms of defensively getting back, and Porro and Son.
They give the ball away a lot. Basuma gives the ball away a lot, you know.
I thought it looked like we were panicked on the ball. I thought it looked like when we had the ball, we shit ourselves with it. And when they pressed well, we just didn't have the thing to get out and play. And when they won it back, they were just so quick with it. I mean, that's I can never say his name. Szoboszlai. Yeah, he is fucking a top player. And, you know, on their day, every single one of them Liverpool players are top players, I think, on their day. But yeah, I just want to go back to, if we're going to move on, just about digging players out. I mean, I'm getting really fucked off with watching Heung-min Son play at Spurs at the minute. I'm really struggling with it. I'm struggling.
He's a shadow, isn't he? He's a shadow of what he was, man.
Yeah, mate, I'm struggling with the negativity of taking a player on. All he wants to do now is turn, look sideways and backwards to give it. He doesn't want to track back. I mean, if you look at the first goal for Luis Diaz, you've got one of the best crosses in world football. I mean, in Arnold, and he's Beckham-like. You leave him a chance to whip a ball in. Son, if you go back and watch it, Son's pressing on him was a fucking disgrace to stop that. And that is where we are with Son for me. He's lazy in his defensive work, which he's never been known for. But if you ain't going to do nothing going forward, then I expect you to do something in your fucking defensive work because you ain't do nothing going forward. And I thought he was really, really poor. And Angie's sticking with him, and I don't know why, because he needs to be dropped. But Andrew will probably tell you he hasn't got the fucking replacements for him. But, I mean, it was set an example to the rest of the team, I think, if you drop the captain for being out of form.
Yeah, boy. So I think Werner done more in 8 minutes yesterday than Sonny done the whole game. Werner actually got the ball and drove at Trent. Every attacking winger in the league targets Trent. They run at Trent.
Yeah.
Sonny did not run it in once. Werner got the ball and took on Trent twice in 8 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Yeah, I know Werner comes under stick, but I do, like I'm with you, Kev. I think a statement has to be made and Sonny has to be dropped. Yeah, I don't think he slows us down now, I feel. When we go to attack, he slows us down.
Oh, big time.
I actually think that's the main point. I actually think that's the main point what you're saying about Sonny. It's not even that he puts in a bad performance. It's that his performance impacts negatively on the actual tactics of the game. He's
gone again.
Yeah, for Christmas, should we chip in and buy him new internet? Fuck you.
I love Sonny. I love him so much, mate. I don't know what's going on here, mate. Fucking
he's back.
Internet's cutting out every time.
No, you're back. You're back.
It never happens. I don't know why this is like that. Anyway, sorry, he's fucking internet's cutting out. But yeah, I love Sonny, but he's at a point now where he's impacting the game negatively.
Yeah.
Like he's actually having a negative effect. It's not even like he's just going out there having a bad performance and the game's going on. He is slowing down the attacking play to the point where, like I looked at him yesterday and I thought, play that ball or press that player, and he's just not doing it. And then it's like the ball's gone back and he's out of position. And like Kev said, you've got Trent running down the wing. He needs to be doubled up on at that point when he's putting the ball in.
I mean, listen, you definitely go back and watch that first goal again, and it is fucking awful from Son.
Sonny's miles away from him. Sonny's absolutely miles away from him.
Yeah, no good.
But the thing is, Kev, we'll come to you, right? So obviously we can question Ange yesterday with the tactics. Like I know we got a week back four, and
I'm not questioning his tactics because it's the way he wants to do it. I mean,
no, see, I feel like he had to adapt to yesterday because he knew our team, he knew Liverpool's attacking threat. But the thing is, if we're going to criticise Ange, Sonny's our captain. He's on the pitch. He's on the pitch doing absolutely nothing. He's our captain. So surely people have to start criticising him as well. No.
Yeah, this is it, Matt. This is where I think January's massive because that team for me needs a fucking leader in there. It needs a captain type player. It needs a general. It needs someone of an age that can just fucking get them going and put them together at half time. Do you know what I mean? I'm expecting the manager to do it at half time, where I'm sure he does. But once they're back out on that pitch, they're sort of left to sink sometimes. And I look at that pitch and I just don't see anybody there that can fucking sort someone out or have a pop at fucking Porro for being too high up the pitch or Basuma for giving a fucking 5-yard pass away. I mean, I'm looking at Archie Gray at the moment and he looks, for 18 years old, he looks fucking mature. And it's like, I'm looking at an 18-year-old who I'm looking at thinking, he looks like the maturest player on the pitch at the moment. And that's not saying much for an 18-year-old. So January's massive because I don't see us winning any trophies unless there's some leadership in that team. And Sonny definitely isn't the fucking answer for that. He might go. I don't know, mate. I mean, I can't pick a captain out of that lot. A lot of people in the booth were saying Kulu deserves it.
Really?
I just maybe it's because he's on a fucking. I mean, he probably feels like he's the best player at the club at the minute. Probably is.
I think the only one in the team that gives a bit of that like is Vicario when he's playing. He's the only one I've seen gives it like that.
Against Man United, when we conceded the first goal, if you go back and watch it, it's only James Maddison that starts telling every player to start focusing up, get your head in the game. Do you know what I mean? It was only him that done it.
I like Maddison's. I mean, I watched his. Was it with the? I think he come out and spoke to like the Spurs TV bloke. The young fella in the big chubby geezer. And he comes out and takes responsibility for it all. And
talking to Matt. Was he talking to Matt?
What's that?
Was he talking to Matt?
But I fucking where was I? What was I saying?
Sorry.
No,
it comes out.
Hang on.
I can't wait to see Matt after Christmas.
Kev, I'll tell you the funniest thing is when you said that, I was about to say, what, TJ? And then, no, I won't. And then he nailed me about 30 seconds later.
Yeah, well, listen, I was supposed to say, the chubby ball geezer. That was what I was supposed to say.
Yeah, he called it.
But yeah, like for me, he comes out and takes responsibility and he says, look, we were bad. I feel sorry for the fans. He comes and does that. I never see fucking Son doing that. So maybe Maddison is maybe the closest thing you'll get. Imran Romero is probably one of their vices. But yeah, Sonny for me, if I'm a player playing with Sonny and I'm looking at him the way he affects a game, which isn't much, then I'm not inspired by my captain if I'm someone else. I mean, I saw him and Archie Gray having a fucking moan at each other. I don't know if it's after the United game or Liverpool game. And Archie Gray's giving him shit and they're both having a round. I think that's an 18-year-old telling a fucking, apparent world-class player that he ain't doing something right,
Yeah. No, boys. So where do we go from here? So obviously, TJ, we've got Forest coming up. Next one. There's going to be. I don't think there's no players returning from injury. I think it's Ramiro and Van der Ven not returning until January. I'm hoping that they probably make their Carabao Cup semi-final. But Forest next team, but actually, I need a man of match of both of you for yesterday.
Yesterday?
Yeah. You told me we didn't play too bad.
I'll jump in first.
Go
Jed
on in,
Spence.
Kev.
Jed Spence for me. I think he's had another game where I think he's playing on the wrong side as well. He's a fucking right back, and I can see him taking Porro's place very, very soon and having him in a Dogi side. I just think he's fearless. I mean, you was there, Matt, at the Man United game when he got subbed and he walked around that pitch, and he fucking felt it from everyone, and he fucking deserves it as well because he's coming from the cold. He's been on loan to fucking everywhere. Had to wait his chance when he should have got in a lot earlier, I thought, and he's come in and grabbed it. And I thought up against Salah, I thought he kept him pretty quiet for a lot of that game, weirdly enough. But I felt sorry for him because he did get pulled apart a bit as the game went on. But I thought it was a mature performance, and I think he does not look out of place being in our starting lineup at the moment. So definitely Jed for me.
I'll go Jed Spence, and Kev, I'm with you. I think when Dogi, Van der Ven, Ramiro comes back, I think Porro's the one that's going to drop out. You won't say in football, when you get your chance, you have to take it. And Jed Spence has took that massively. And I also think with the pace of Jed Spence, it'll probably go back to the days when we used to have Carl Walker and Danny Rose as our fullbacks, because you've got the pace up and down the flanks. At the moment, Pedro Porro keeps getting caught out with that ball over the top constantly, and he hasn't got the pace to keep getting back, has he? But
he's no slouch. I think he goes too high.
Yeah,
too high. You know what I mean? When you're playing and you've got all that grass, especially if you're a fullback, you have got to kind of stay in between and think about the transition. If they lose it there, it goes over on well out of position. You've kind of got to think about your defensive side of it as well. And he doesn't do that, but I think Spence does, and I think Spence is a better defender than him. And we've seen it in recent games with Spence going forward. He ain't no fucking slouch going forward either and creating stuff. So, I mean, if he stays in this moment, Spence, I can see him nailing that spot for a long time. But it is nice to have Porro as well because there are a lot of games coming up in Europa and you don't want to burn Spence out. But in my strongest team at the moment, I think Spence starts all day.
Would you not potentially start? Would you not go with a Porro midfield, do you reckon? In the midfield three, like as a holding midfielder to Basuma sometimes, or not?
Porro holding midfield? Oh, I don't know about that, Matt. Fucking, what are you doing playing Championship Manager?
Yeah, he's been playing Championship Manager too much now.
Yeah, you ain't clicking on the mouse. You can't be clicking on the mouse here, mate, and just dragging him around. Fucking hell.
No, switch it off and start the game again, mate.
If anything, if he could done a job anywhere else, if you had to, I think maybe in the front three out wide, possibly, but nothing. No, not a midfielder for me.
Team man of match, Jed Spence.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I thought he had a great game. I could easily give it to him. And this is going to sound a bit shocking given the scoreline, but I thought Archie Gray actually did all right. I actually did. I think as a team, like I said, I felt a lot of it was down to poor execution of the tactics. I always felt he was a step behind, but I felt Archie Gray had a really good game. I felt like he cut out a lot. I feel it could have been worse if it weren't for Archie Gray. I think Jed Spence was probably is my number one, but I just want to give Archie Gray a shout as well because I thought, he actually, Kev said a lot of it already, but being an 18-year-old, being played out of position all season, and to be able to perform at that level against probably the best team in the world at the moment, I think he deserves a shout as well. I think it could have been a lot worse if it weren't for Archie Gray.
Yeah, do you know what? Sorry, let me just quickly cut there. I mean, for an 18-year-old that's come from up north, jumping into a club like that, being basically chucked in fucking 3 different positions already. I mean, when we went up to when I went QPR at pre-season, he played centre back then, and he fucking absolutely dominated the game. But it's just not his position at all. For Leeds, he was a right back or a centre midfielder plus and a right back. But for me, he looks, for an 18-year-old, he looks so mature and so calm. And it's like, I think you could chuck anything at him and he'll go at it. I think that this kid is going to be a proper international England footballer one day and be in that starting lineup as one of the best sort of young midfielders coming through. I think, if we don't buck up our ideas, this is an early shout, by the way, but if we don't buck up our ideas, I mean, I reckon big clubs will be after him in the next few years. I think he's got something, and I think he's that good, and he's versatile, but he just looks like a top footballer. And if you see him playing midfield, I mean, I'm sure a Leeds fan will fucking tell you. I mean, I caught him up when they started talking about him. I started watching a bit of Leeds, and he just pivoted in there and just created everything. Just so calm on the ball for his age, and he was 17 at that point, playing the Championship. That's a fucking proper man's league, that Championship as well. And for a 17-year-old to blossom the way he did, I mean, I think this kid's going to be really something, and we're lucky to have him. I think at the moment, especially with the way the injuries we've got, we're very lucky to have him.
definitely. And then TJ, we'll come to you for a champagne moment. Was there one?
I could give it. Can I give it to Liverpool players? Fucking. That's the only place it really was, to be honest, mate. It's a champagne moment.
Kev, have you got one? Have you got one?
Just trying to think of one, actually. I mean,
Do you know what?
Goals we took, like Maddison's goal, I thought was really well took. Like the first one, like they've obviously that's when the press works, right? He's picked it up, McAllister, and Kulu see him turn, and he's straight on him. That's when the press works, and he's on him on time. Bang! Maddison picks it up, one touch, whips it around the keeper. I mean, I'm clutching because I'm talking about a point where I feel Ange's tactics were executed perfectly.
I'll probably go Solanke, Kulu's goal. Maybe the link up for him and Solanke. Maybe
that's what I was going to say. The link up.
Bit of Sheringham Klinsmann of old. Bit of a nice little link up play. I mean, that would probably be off the top of my head what I think was the best moment of the game for us.
I might have been putting the boys to bed at that point. I might have given up by that point.
That was mine. That was my champagne moment. The Solanke ball to Kulu and then Kulu smashed it in. Yeah. All right. Pick of the day. Mine. Mine is Radu for that third goal right on half time. Just get it into half time, 2-1. You never know what's going to happen. But Radu went in for some crazy head. He was never going to win it. And then before you know it, we were exposed. It was just carnage from that point.
Yeah, easily I could say the same. I thought Radu had a terrible game. I do think Sonny's got, like, as a captain, though, when your team's doing that and you're kind of meant to be the one everyone looks to, I just feel like he was so far away from it. So far away from it.
Yeah, I'll agree with Teach. I mean, Son's performance, I think, was fucking pathetic. And he's had a lot of pathetic performances this season. And I'm one of them. We've said it before with players. I mean, I don't like when Harry Kane left. I'm happy for everything you've done at the club. But when it's time to go, it's time to fucking go. And for me, Son, if anything, is possibly an impact player off the bench at his age now. And I don't know if they keep him around because of the young lad coming, the other Korean boy. I don't know. But, you know, a testimonial's fucking due at some point. I think he's definitely done at Spurs for me. And I mean, I've never been a fan of players that are fucking pussies on the pitch as well. And Son's got worse with that. I think he's fucking feeble, and I can't accept that when I'm paying the money I paid to go and watch him everywhere. And it's like TJ saying, especially your captain, he has got to be the one you look up to and think, if he's going to put a fucking tackle in, I'm going to put a tackle in. So for me, yeah, Heung-min Son for me is forget all the history of it. I mean, I'm really, really fucking disappointed in the way he plays at the moment.
Yes, the Nightglobe mentioned about Sonny and saying maybe about going to Bundesliga as it's a weaker league potentially.
Yeah, man. I mean, listen, I think Spurs will tear his contract up and let him go. So I mean, if he wanted to go, I think the Spurs owe him that. If he wants to go, he goes. But now Levy, he'll probably put another year on his deal and try and get fucking 25-30 million for him. That's probably what we're going to wait for. So, I mean, I think he's got a trigger for another year. Has he signed it? I think he's there for another season, isn't he, at least.
Has that been done?
I think it has. I'm sure they triggered it. I mean,
was it not this season? Was this season not the season you're talking about?
I thought he was on a free at the end of this season, but they triggered a year extension on it a few months back. Maybe someone will pop in here in a minute and tell me. But I think he's there for at least another year. But yeah, for me, bit part player.
Just going to come to this comment from Nightglow talking about Kulu. Saying he annoys me, he's most overrated players in the last 6 months. He puts the end to so many of our attack cells onto the ball too long. He's not right for Ange on the ring. I'll tell you now, if it wasn't for Kulu right now, I think we'd be in a relegation battle. I think that geezer has been unbelievable this season. So I had to just raise that.
Do you know what?
I'll be interested to know who Nightglow thinks our player of the season is. Just because... For me, listen, I get where he's coming from. I ain't gonna lie to you. There's times yesterday when I was watching against Liverpool, and I thought Kulu could have played the ball across. Sonny was open a couple of times on the other side, and I thought if he whips that across, Sonny's got a chance on goal. Whether he fucking scores it or not's another thing. But I'm sorry, I'm seeing the comments come in, so I disagree with some of the stuff he's saying. But yeah, I personally think Kulu is is probably our best player of the season. I think without him, there's a lot of games would have gone begging. I kind of agree with Matty on that. I'll be interested to know who he thinks is the best player of the season. I find that's an interesting comment. I haven't heard many Spurs fans say that.
No,
Yeah,
I think everyone...
my only niggle with Kulu is his tracking back, and I mean, some of the best players going forward don't do it, but that kind of bothers me about it because I think he leaves his right back fucking high and dry when he plays off that right. But I'm watching him recently, and he is on a fucking flip of being. I look at him at the moment, and he's my match winner. He's my Gareth Bale who's gonna get me out of the shit. And when he's dribbling with the ball, he's got a bit of Moussa Dembele vibe about him. I mean, you can't. People bounce off him. Like, he's a strong boy. When he dribbles, he's got a Gaza thing about him as well. When he dribbles, I think he's on to next level things, Kulu. And like you said, Matt, without him, we're right in the shit.
I definitely agree. Right, so obviously there's more comments coming through. We'll flick through them as we go on. Jason, Instagram, there's a couple of messages going on through Instagram. Jason's messaging away. Old Cody, and that's messaging on the Graham's messaging on the TikTok. We've got quite a few on the YouTube. I'll put a message on and Facebook. There's messages coming thick and fast at the minute, so we will cover some of these.
Yeah, one guy's actually said this. Jamie Healy on Facebook. He said Kulu 100% the only one who drags us through it. He would be my captain. So there's someone who thinks he should be captain.
Yeah, I do you know what? It's weird because I don't know if that Nightglow is a Titan fan or not, because I've never known.
Someone's having a fucking bubble there, right?
I've not known someone to slag off Kulu this season. I think previous seasons we've been quite critical of Kulu because we see a player in there, but we want more. And this season, I think he's finally delivering that. So that message comes as a shock. He's got to be trolling. He's got to be trolling. But look, just briefly touch over before we go to these upcoming fixtures. Carabao Cup semi-final draw. You happy with it? I know it got released today, so first week of January is the home tie, and then the second leg on a Thursday night is a bit odd, no?
Hardest. I think it's because of Europa League, so you're going like Thursday, Sunday. But if I'm being honest, I personally think that's the hardest draw we could have got. Even before the game we just had. All right, like, listen, when you get to this stage of any cup, there's no mugs in it, right? But I actually think the other two over 2 legs we could probably beat. I think Liverpool over 2 legs is gonna be tough. I'll be honest.
Do you not think Liverpool rest players?
This is what I was about to say. I think the only saving grace is that I think Arsenal and Liverpool will rest players in these semi-finals because they've got their eyes on the league and obviously Champions League. So yeah, I actually think that they will rest players. Whether Liverpool need to or not so sure. Their Champions League games they've got left are basically fucking dead rubbers. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's personally the hardest draw we could have got. I'm still optimistic. I think we'll have a few players back. I don't fancy us at Anfield second either. That's kind of made it worse. I think I'd have liked to have had us back at White Lane for the second leg.
There's no away goals, is it? No away goals.
No away goals, but I think like in terms of going to Anfield and needing a result, I think it's going to be quite. It's one of the grounds I like. There and Chelsea, I never really fancy us, to be honest.
Yes,
I never do. But listen, I'm hopeful we have players back, and I'm hopeful they rest players, and then I actually think we've got a chance. But if not, I think it's going to be a very hard semi-final. It's definitely the hardest of the two.
Kev, just before I come to you, mate. So I talked to quite a few Liverpool fans on TikTok, and I speak to some yesterday on the train going to the game. And I said, would you do an exchange now if it all come to it, like 3 points today or the Carabao Cup semi-final? He said, we don't even want the Carabao Cup semi-final. We want the 3 points. We're so desperate to win the league. So they've even said in the Carabao Cup semi-final, they wouldn't mind the second team coming out to play against us because they don't want no injuries.
Yeah,
the fans just are not interested in the cup at all.
When you're top of the Champions League group and you're top of the Premiership, I can imagine the Carabao Cup's a fucking afterthought. This is why, I mean, we've got to be real of where we are as a club and what we have compared to a team like Liverpool. I know they've got a new manager, but that's a lot of Klopp's players he's got there. But he's making them work. He's getting something out of them. And a lot of them players have been there for a few years. With us at the moment, it's very fucking sort of bit of a fucking messed up jigsaw. Do you know what I mean? Of trying to put players in with injuries and all that. So that don't surprise me at all. I mean, if you're top of the Champions League, you know what I mean? You're knocking on the door to win that. I expect them to be at least in the semi-final of the Champions League, at least. I expect them to win the league. And I expect them to go far in the FA Cup. And then in the semis of the Carabao Cup. This is a fucking well-oiled fucking machine that we're playing. For me, yeah, like Tej was saying, the only way we get through for me is if we have a fully fit side, and possibly they may rest a few. But don't know. It's fucking Spurs. You never know. But I'll be there home, and I'll be there for the away leg as well, just in case it happens. So who knows?
We'll be 4-0 up in the first leg anyway, Kev. You'll be all right, mate.
Yeah, lose 7-0.
Still wouldn't be comfortable. Still wouldn't be comfortable.
Yeah,
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Also, because one more thing, the protest yesterday outside the stadium, it looked like it grew in numbers from previous protests. Yeah, they probably had up to about 400, 500 people there yesterday, where normally you get about 10 people with a banner.
Did you go? Was you one of them, Matt?
No, I weren't there, mate. I weren't there, mate.
I saw who put the video in the group chat, because that video was fucking pathetic.
There's a couple floating about, but I knew some people that were there, and they did say there was probably about 500 people there in the end. But obviously, everyone comes at different times and stuff like that. So go and do that.
Well, that's stupid. You need to get everyone there at the right time.
Yeah. Part of that is, I think 5 years before, 50% of our current fan base are priced out of the club already. I think we've already gone past that. I don't think that needs 5 years. I think that's already happening right now as we speak. Because yesterday, I don't know, that is a proper tourist attraction ground, right? So yesterday I'm standing there, we're losing 5-1. Liverpool have a free kick, edge of the box. 3 people next to me just stand up and start recording Liverpool's free kick, thinking it's going to go in. I need to record this. I was like, what are you even recording? And they were like, what? But basically, they're just, mate, they're not, no one's, half of that stadium now isn't even there for the football, are they? They're just there because it's.
Well, the thing is, yesterday, you know what I mean, my mate's next to me in block 510 or 511, and 93 quid his ticket was. And some parts of that ground yesterday was like £100 for that fucking ticket. So people are paying £100 to take photos and fucking videos of Liverpool having free kicks. That's kind of where we are at the moment. I can see why people don't fucking bother going down there anymore.
I'll tell you what I feel. Levy has full-on control with us fans. Our season ticket holders, he's got us right by the bollocks, yeah? I feel like he's got me in the rules of Jericho, and I can't tap out, mate. I'm just stuck in this submission, mate. I can't get out of it.
What was it, Jericho?
I feel like even if I'm tapping out, mate, he's still sitting there laughing. I'm screwed, mate.
Yeah. The ref's going, ring the bell. He ain't letting go, is he, mate?
No, he's not letting go, mate. He's just sitting there, leaning back a bit more.
Oh, fuck's sake.
Listen, the Levy argument it's going to come around all the time. The one thing I like about this time around is that there's no call for the manager's head, really. A few fans will, but most people are. I think most of the fan base is sitting there going, "This is an organisational problem now." Where we're sitting there going, "Do you know what? We're not." It's just the fact that the investment is not happening. And there's even been the outgoing CEO of the Tottenham Hotspur Supporters Trust come out and said it as well. And he's basically gone, it's a lack of investment in the football side that we're seeing. And it outright called out points that we all think, like, you know, like, are concerts and fucking NFL more important than the football that's played at the stadium? And these are big topics that we need to address. And the truth of the matter is I don't really know how we do it apart from everybody continuing to go buy their tickets. It's such a hard thing for people to ask because it's a lot of money we pay. But if there was a game, this is how I would do it if it was me. If there was a big game on, you know, I would just be like, everyone's got their season ticket and then just don't go for that game. 40,000 season ticket holders not turning up. You're probably going to get on a proper protest, 50 to 60% of them not going. So you're talking 20 odd thousand fans not turning up to the game if you can get it organised. But this is what I mean. Like you've got to ask someone to pay their money for a game and then not go. And
their price is no way.
Also,
who's going to do that? Like, how do you know what I mean? Like, who's going to do that? Not enough people. in my
And
opinion.
not everyone thinks the way we do, you know. Like there's a lot of people out there that are just full on, like love Levy and that, you know, like he's done brilliant things in that. Like,
But listen. I'm sorry, like, and I have to call these people out. We all can sit there and give Levy credit for the platform he's built for this club to make it a self-running club where it basically, as long as it stays in the Premier League, it basically looks after itself, right? But for a company that comes in in football, you're in football. That's what you're doing. Yeah, fair enough. There's a business aspect, but you're in football, and we are a team that used to win trophies, right? We like in the 80s, before the 80s, all the way back to the early 1900s, we won trophies on a regular basis. For them to come in and only win one trophy in their tenure, 24 years, one trophy is unacceptable for a club of Tottenham stature. Wigan have won a trophy in that period. Do you know what I mean? Swansea have won a trophy in that period.
Portsmouth
have won. Cardiff, Portsmouth. These are all teams that are getting to major. We haven't even been to an FA Cup final in 33 years. We had the record for FA Cups the last time we were in it. We've been surpassed and then some now. We've been in, I think is it 8 semi-finals without going through to the final? There's something wrong there. And it's that we don't have the players to get over the line in these situations. The investment and the investment in the squad is just not there. And like I said, there's only so many cards you can play. And I say this every time this conversation comes up. He used to point to the stadium. He used to point to the training ground. He used to point to the business partnerships we have around the world. Look at what we're doing, the platform we're providing for Spurs. That's cool. We've got it all. Heard the story, mate. You said this last year. Where the fuck is the footballing investment now? And don't tell me spending 65 million on Solanke is investment or 40 million is investment for Archie Gray. Where is the seasoned winners that are going to get us over the line in this club? That's where we're missing it at. That's where we're missing it at the moment. And until that is rectified, and rightly so now, people are like, we're watching a brand of football that's interesting and entertaining to watch. But we could, and you've seen how effective it is. You've seen what it does in games against City, Villa, West Ham, Man United twice. Like, you've seen how effective we can be. So with real fucking depth in the squad, where could we be? And until Levy answers those questions, he's right to be criticised at this point. 100%.
Teach.
Transfer window coming.
I mean, T just had me fucking completely zoomed in on that, and everything you just said, is fucking spot on.
True, mate.
Every single thing, and I mean, you can't put it in any better way than he just put it, and that's where we are as a club at the moment. That's where we've been stuck for a long time. But yeah, nothing changes for me until that changes, and I'm grateful for everything he's done outside of the football, outside of the pitch stuff. You know, I'm happy for the ground, I'm happy for the training, everything else. But that is fucking spot on, and that is why we failed in terms of ambition and winning trophies, because of them reasons T just said. So yeah, I couldn't agree anymore.
So with regards to the transfer window approaching, I think it is right we ramp it up a bit at least. I think. Do you think we see anyone in January coming?
Have to.
Yeah.
I know we've got a lot of injuries. But I think Spurs are honestly 3 good players away from challenging. I really do believe that.
How many transfer windows you said that?
Well, I think
that's 75.
since
the truth. We're always a couple away. Why are we always a couple away?
I know, mate. I know.
This is where we're different to top clubs like Liverpool and stuff like that. When they needed it, they went and got it. Goalkeeper, Van Dijk. Who else did they buy? So Coutinho. The books Luis Diaz has been massive for them. They knew when to go and identify targets and get them. Arsenal have done the same. It's like Spurs don't do that. I mean, like, we always go back to the Poch thing. We know what we needed when Poch was there, and we never did it. And probably Poch's fault for doing such a great job, but you know, that was the time when we should have done it. And he can't believe he hasn't learned from that. If you like this manager and you like his style, then you need to find the best players to fit it. And the players we have at the moment currently inside are not the best players to fit it. And we need more depth when our top players get injured, and we're not in this shit situation now. Going into a Christmas period, all these fucking games, cup semi-finals, and we're playing the same 11 week in, week out. They're gonna burn out. They're gonna burn out, and then you're gonna get more injuries. So if you don't learn from getting depth in right now, I don't know when you'll ever learn, because you're gonna have to. If you don't back this manager or change the way you want to be in this transfer window, you're gonna lose him, and you are then. Because once the fans start calling for the manager, they can call the fucking ball as much as you want. As soon as Levy gets shit, he will then sack Ange. He will sack Ange straight away. And then we've lost another manager. So he needs to put his finger out. Wherever it's, I'm not even asking him to go and spend 50 million. Go and look at the loan market. Go and get some depth. Now, I said Rashford's the one. He's a player I think we could do with on loan. Wouldn't buy him, but I'd loan him. And we need a proper experienced central midfielder. And I think we'll be okay when everyone gets back and have a good push to the end of the season. But we need to look at next year.
Can I talk about that though as well? You just touched on about like Ange getting a sack. Yeah, I think it's an important topic that we should probably visit before we end. Yeah, I genuinely believe the league is probably already second priority now. I know everyone's is like spreading butter. I think we're too far off the top four to be considered fighting for top four. I think we're fighting for European places at this point. Top 8 will see European places this season, given how teams are performing in Europe, English clubs. So at this point now, we need to be prioritising the cups. The League Cup's going to be a tough ask, given who's left in it, especially with the fact that we've drawn Liverpool and got to play them home and away. The FA Cup is in its infancy. We've probably got the best draw we could probably get, unless it was the only way it'd be better is if it was at home. But even then, like I just feel like that round we should get through, no questions asked, right? If we don't, then we're fucking laughing stock. However, the Europa League for me
is the one.
I don't see in that league, especially when we get our players back, anybody who beats us over 2 legs. You might get a team that beats us at their ground like Galatasaray did, but even then we had a second string out, 10 men, and we could have easily nicked it and got a draw there. I don't see anyone in that league. No one drops down anymore from Champions League. I don't see anyone in the Europa League that beats us over 2 legs. Yeah, we should be going with that. That should be the focus for the season.
I'll be honest with you. I'm at that point as a supporter now where I'm looking forward to cup games, and it's a shame,
100%.
Because at the moment I don't feel like we have a squad thick enough to challenge on all fronts, be in the top 6 of the league. Or top 4, whatever you want to call it, FA Cup, Carabao Cup, and Europa. At the moment, we're too thin for it. So we're going to have to prioritise something at some point. But I'm with Tej. I mean, the European Cup's massive, and I don't see anyone on our day beating us. But as a supporter, that's where I am now. I'm all in for the cups, and a bit of me is probably because I like the manager as well. I like the style of it. So I know he's going to be judged on cups, because if he goes out of all cups and finishes in that fucking 10th, 9th, or 8th. For me, he has to go. And I think Levy will pull the trigger on him then.
100%.
I want him to win it. I want to win a cup, obviously, but I'd like this man just do it the way we play. I think it would be fitting if we did. But, if they don't help him in January, or we don't get players back, whoever the fucking doctor is or the physio in there needs to fucking sack, I think. But if them 2 things ain't sorted out, then we're going to end up with absolutely fuck all, and we're going to be we're going to be managerless in the summer. And then here we go again. I can't do it.
But rightly so, though. I'm sorry, but listen, if Ange is coming to this club, he's already put himself under pressure by saying he wins a trophy in his second season every time. But also, we cannot be a club that is seen to be going backwards. If you are finishing outside the European places as Spurs and you aren't winning trophies, you're going backwards. And I'm sorry, regardless of how much I like Ange, that's what he'll be judged on, and deservedly so. If you don't make Europe and you don't win a cup, then you failed at your objectives, in my opinion.
I agree.
Would you say we stick with Ange to the end of the season, no matter what?
Yes. 100%.
Mate, I want Ange to stay forever, mate. I love the geezer, but it's a results business, right? So
100%. That's it.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, Matt. He's never going to change the way he plays. So the chairman knows that. So go out and buy better footballers to play that system. Go out and buy defenders that are going to trap back. Go out and buy wide players that are going to take people on every fucking minute of the game. Go and buy a top goalkeeper who can play with his feet. If you want to be that and you don't want to keep chopping and changing manager as an owner and you want stability, then fucking back the geezer and go and buy a top squad. Go and get rid of players like Son and Richarlison. They're not taking you nowhere. Go out, buy your good young players, because we do find gems. But you can't just do that every year and just go and buy on the cheap and buy young and hope. You have to buy proven quality if you want to win European Cups. And if they don't, they're going nowhere fast. And that's the fucking issue I've got with Levy. If you like the manager, fucking do it. Back him. Go and get what he wants, because he needs more than what he's got now.
I agree. But I also think in January, there's a couple of players there stealing the wage. And Richarlison's one of them. He's never available, stealing a wage. We have.
What did he say?
No. Look, I like Richarlison, but right now we need players available. And he's never available. So what we got him for? We might as well just offload him. He's not.
I think there's something going on with that, behind the scenes. I don't know if he's not fucking well upstairs or what, or if it is just, I don't know if it's just injuries, but he's in and out way too much. You don't hear nothing about him. I don't know, it's fishy, that one, Richarlison. I don't know what's going on there.
I'll be honest, boys. I know it's a tough one, but Van der Ven can't carry on the way he's playing. We need players that are going to play regularly, yeah? We don't need players that are going to play 5 matches then out for 3 months. Like, something's going to have to be done with some of our players here. Like, we can't keep carrying these players because it impacts our team. Our starting 11 will match anyone in the league. We know that, yeah? But we have so many injuries all the time. We had this conversation last year.
And not good enough replacements to play in.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
It is.
If you
boys,
go on, sorry.
go on, Kev. What are you going to say, mate?
I was just going to say, when you've got players like Van der Ven who are so important, and they are important, especially when you want to play high. I mean, I think we could have played high against Liverpool like we did if we had Van der Ven in there. I think it would have made a massive difference in that game, just by the way we wanted to go play so high. But if he gets injured, you need another defender to come in who's quick. You need to go and find someone, whether that's a young player or not, someone who's quick to keep the way you want to play. But when you're putting a makeshift defence in and still playing high, but they don't have the qualities that a Van der Ven has, you're asking for trouble. It's just like, I know it's not easy to come find 2 Van der Vens, but you need something that's better than what you got. You can't put Ben Davies at centre half when Vic Van der Ven goes out. You just can't do it. And this is what I'm saying about competing. You can't compete with top clubs, especially in Europe and the competitions you're in, 4 competitions, without having a good squad. And Liverpool got that, and that's why they're fucking flying, because they've got top players coming in every position. They don't spend a fortune. They just go out and get their targets when they need them. And that's what we need to do as a club to move forward. For me,
the haggle for me is gone as well. Like the years of like Levy like being known for a haggler, I couldn't give 2 fucks anymore. Honestly, it's like, you know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, but Levy gets him on a good deal. I'm like, if they want 80 million for him and you want him, pay 80 million for him. Seriously, don't sit here. I'll give you fucking 70 million plus 10 million in add-ons and bonuses, performance this, performance that. Just fucking pay the money. Get the player in that we want, because he's going to change the team, or lose him to someone like Arsenal. That's what you say when it's Goyo Keres, right? Is it Goyo Keres? I can't say his name, but he was one of our targets, and he's probably going to go to a team like Arsenal or Chelsea now, because they're the sort of clubs that want him, and they'll just go, you know what, we want him, pay the money.
Yeah, I mean, I said, if we have a really bad season, the manager will go. But I don't know if it's going to take that for him to wake up upstairs and go, fuck me, I can't have us finishing 13th in the league and not winning it and not getting far in any cups. So, I mean, I almost feel like we've got to have a disaster of a season. I mean, a fucking disaster to maybe wake him up, because you don't finish in Europe, that'll hit him in the fucking pocket. And the only way you get to leave is if you hit him in the pocket. But I don't want to have a shit season. I don't want my manager to be sacked. I don't want to
be in the loyalty points as well. That fucking hell.
Well, yeah, exactly that as well.
Mate, I got like 43 loyalty points last year. It was a joke.
Yeah, they were doing well this year though. Fucking over the points.
You're living the dream now.
Loyalty points.
Look, boys, and you start wrapping. And then start wrapping it up. We've got 2 important fixtures, I think. Nottingham Forest and Wolves over the Christmas break. Kev, come to you, mate. I think we'll get on in both games. Are you going? Are you going?
No, I don't know. I don't know about your rules in your house, but my missus, like, you can do what you like all fucking year, but Christmas, I want you at home. So I did ask a question about Boxing Day, but I mean, it's one of them games where, a bit like Man City and Southampton, where I didn't go, I thought we'd get thumped. Nottingham Forest, I'd feel a bit funny about going to that one, because I think they're flying, they're playing well. It's not really the sort of team we need to be playing at the moment, because I do find we're fragile. But you just never know with Spurs, and everyone I haven't been to, we've ended up fucking winning away. But it's a tough game, that one. I mean, before we get on to Newcastle, I think Forest is going to be a right tricky game. And if we come out of that with 3 points, I think that's a massive result. Massive.
Yeah. T?
I agree with you. I think 2 massive games. I think Forest at the moment, like Boxing Day, away to Forest. I don't know. I actually don't know anymore. I look at these fixtures and think Forest are flying, like absolutely flying. And if I kind of agree with Kev, I think if we get anything out of that game, it's probably a bonus, especially on Boxing Day. I just feel like we got dealt a short straw there because normally Boxing Day fixtures are close to home, and that one's miles away. That's absolutely miles away. So fair play to the boys that are going up there for it. Wolves is a must win. Sorry, but Wolves at home is a must win. I don't think the manager and got the little bump up from the new manager effect. We need to win that game. I would take 4 points from the 2 over Christmas. I mean, we should be taking 6, but I think 4 points would be a good return from them 2.
Yeah. If you're asking me now, will I take 4 points? I'm taking it just because the way Forest play. But like what TJ's saying, it wouldn't surprise me if we go and thump Forest as well. I mean, they're gonna come at us massively, and I'm sure we'll be able to pick them off. But
no, boys. I think we win both games convincingly.
We should. We fucking should.
Matt's got his fucking positive pants back on. Fuck it.
No, I do. Like, I've looked at Forest this year. Chris Wood, if he leans on Archie Gray, he's going to win most headers. So we're going to need Radu to step up this week. Like, how close are we with Van der Ven returning? Like, I know he returns before Ramiro, doesn't he? Like,
the thing is, after the Chelsea game, he was in his fucking sliders on the pitch, Spurs jacket on, shorts, and like walking around fucking clapping. He looks all right. That's why I thought he'd be back. But they've not said nothing about it, have they? They haven't said what the problem is or what. But I mean, it's a lot of games coming up now. I'm sure he's going to feature in one of these next 3, surely. If
the next 3 is Forest, Wolves, and Newcastle, is it?
Yeah.
Mate, Jesus. Like...
Newcastle at home's not going to be an easy game either. I'm going to that one. Makes a change.
Which one?
Newcastle at home. It's going to be tough.
Wait, are you actually going?
Yeah, I'm going to the game, mate. Believe it or not, I'm allowed that.
Oh, he'll have to put his Google Maps on. Fucking get down to the ground. You're not a fucking tour.
The trains ain't running, so I'm fucked.
But no, look, honestly, I think we'll beat Forest. I think we'll probably win. I'm going to say 2-0 both games.
Yeah, I'll
not
take
like Tottenham to keep a clean sheet either, but I'm going to go with it.
I'll take a 2-2 draw at Forest, I reckon, and I'll have a 3-1 win against Wolves.
Yeah.
I think we'll smash Wolves. I think it'll be like 5-1.
But no, that's it. So, boys, as we start wrapping up, you got anything planned over Christmas? Where you are?
Eating food, drinking red wine, putting a party out on, telling shit jokes, having a nightmare on Boxing Day watching Spurs. That's about it, really. I'm at home for Christmas Day. I'm at my brother-in-law's for Boxing Day, so I'll probably be down the Red Car for Boxing Day if any of you fancy it to watch Forest. Let us know in Cheshunt.
I thought you said in your household. You said in your ads.
No, I'm not allowed to go to the games, but I'm allowed to slip off down the road and watch the match in the pub, just while she's cooking.
So TJ, so Kev's like obviously drinking, eating, and that. I'm assuming, hopefully, you're not doing that now.
No, doing much of the same, mate. Doing much of the same, just baby bottles instead. Like it's we're hosting again this year. So last year we moved into our house near enough a year ago, a few days ago. So and we hosted it last year. We done Christmas Day, Boxing Day, and New Year's Eve, and we're doing something similar this year. So we've got Christmas Day with the missus side, and then Boxing Day with my side. I think where the boys are so young still, it's so much easier just to be at home with them. So yeah, we've got the short straw, and we're doing all the cooking and hosting again. But yeah, it's all right. It's nice though. I quite like being at home. But yeah, I'll definitely have Spurs on the box on Boxing Day. So
yeah, I don't know about your missus, right? My missus won't go Christmas Day. She won't do anything apart from be at home. She likes to have her cooking going, her food, her crackers, her rules, her decor everywhere. Christmas Day, you never get my missus out of the house.
Yeah, do you know what? I'll make you right though. You ever go on Instagram and you see someone put their dinner up and you're like, fucking glad I don't eat around there, man.
They're frozen Aunt Bessie's.
Yeah, on a paper plate or something like that. Like a gravy slipping through the bottom.
Remember Tommy Baker put his roast up once in the WhatsApp chat?
Yeah, mate. Fucking we ripped him, didn't he? He's got the ump. He left the group chat.
Do you know
Fuck,
what, T?
I said to him when he put his dinner up, I went, "Fuck me, are they serving that?" I didn't know they were serving dinner in Pentonville. Fuck, I didn't know he was doing a bit of both. Fucking-
Is it like one bit of fucking frozen bird's eye broccoli or something like that?
I think he had frozen veg. He had smiley faces for roast potatoes.
Frozen veg.
He had a couple of slices of ham for his fucking meat sandwich ham. And our Bessie Yorkshires. Oh,
TJ, with the amount of red wine, all the meat and that you topped up on the proxy over this Christmas, or what?
He's not going to be able to walk down the Spurs on New Year.
Yeah, I've got loads in the proxy. I've got loads in the proxy.
The last 2 Christmases, I've ended up with a gout attack in my ankle straight after New Year.
It's red meat and wine, isn't it? It's just killer, absolute killer. But yeah, no, I've got 2 boxes already on the proxy on prescription done.
But no, guys, so I just want to say thank you to TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and thank you for all your support throughout the year. We will be back. What's that? Wolves 29th? Yeah, so I'm at the darts the 29th as well. So
yeah, just after
we're
Wolves, I
going
reckon.
to squeeze one in before the new year, or what, boys? On the
I
30th?
think we'll squeeze one more in, a little round-up one.
All right. So yeah, we'll squeeze one more in before the end of the year, and we'll wish you all happy New Year. But for now, thank you for everything, and we hope you all have a lovely Christmas. And let's hope we can next time we speak, we've got 6 points on the board. Surely it can't get any worse what it currently is. Heads up, we come again. Go, you Spurs!
Happy Spursmas, let's go.
Spursmas.